Well, I spent most of the day yesterday, afternoon at least, finishing up my System 1 driver board test device, which consists of a power supply, which is driven by a 9-volt wall wart, and an Arduino Mega 2560. And I chose it because it had way more output pins than the typical Nano, and I didn't want to add any glue logic, so I just brute forced it with a much larger Arduino. A connecting harness to J1 where all the signals come in. This was a miniature power distribution panel I built early on. I don't need that anymore. And then I've got my two output indicators. These are bar LEDs, one for J2 and J3 and the other for J4 and J5. I use bar LEDs because it was quicker than using discrete LEDs. I could have used dip resistors instead of discrete resistors. It's just a question of cost. These are really cheap. And these bar LEDs you'll see are not all the same color. They're made for making thermometers, indicators, so they're going to be green and yellow and red and blue, I think. So let's power it up, and you will see there it's into the green, yellow, red, and the blue must not be coming out in the camera. There was a blue one. The last one is a blue one. So it walks through sequentially, just from the first LED to the last LED. There are most of these are lamps, but those four there are solenoid drives. The last thing I need to do is to get into Excel and make a paper strip that tells me which transistor would have failed if the LEDs were not behaving properly. On this particular board, it had one failed transistor, two failed transistors, the ones with the gold tops. It was also an early board, so it didn't have the blocking diodes installed. So I have done that with one N4004 on all of the tip 102 transistors as is specified. And there's a method for it in the pin wiki. So this will make it a lot easier for me if somebody wants to send in another System 1 driver board. And to the owner of this board, I thank you for allowing me to use it as a guinea pig. She is working perfectly fine.